Hello, hello, hello. What is going on, mi gente? It's your girl, Idylli, and you are on live Tuesday night show. Hold on a second. I want to make sure that you guys don't double hear me. But if you do, let me know. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. There you go. I think I just fixed that. Perfect. Hello. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm super excited, you guys. Listen, this is going to be good. I don't want to say it every week because it really is every week, but I'm telling you, this one is going to be so great. And I'm super excited to be able to bring on our special guest. But before I do, I'm going to make some announcements. First of all, humbly, thank you. Thank you that you come on every Tuesday and you come on and you share your time with me. That means the world. I know how precious time is. It's something that we don't get back, right? It's something that we sometimes take for granted, but you decide to spend your time with me at the SpeakEasy with Idylli show every single week. And I thank you. And for all my replay people, I love you guys too. Okay. Don't get it twisted. I know everybody can't watch when it's live, but I do appreciate your comments, your likes, your shares, your DMs. They really, really mean the world to me. And I am really excited, mi gente. Let's go because next Tuesday, it is going down. So not only do I have to speak easy at 8 p.m., but at 6:30 p.m., I'm literally doing Empower You. Okay. This event is going to be if you are ready to take your life to the next level. This event is going to be if you are in a place where you just feel like you're not worthy or you don't know how, or you just need some uplifting, you need community, you need growth, you need to be around like-minded individual. All you have to do is bring pen and paper because note takers are history makers and your smiling faces. Literally, this is where you register here, speakeasywithidylli.com/empower you, or you could just do speakeasywithidylli.com. The links are all over, but if you need them, DM me. I had some sweetest woman said, I'm an older woman. I don't know how to handle all this business. All I know is I got Zoom. I said, I got you. Don't worry. So I'm definitely going to help her. I've helped her to register for this event. So if you need help registering, just let me know. Again, it's going down virtually right from the comfort of your own home on 6/18 at 6:30 p.m. The Empower You virtual event. I mean, everything is in the title, Empower You. Okay, because I want to see you grow. It's not about me, it's about you. And so I'm really, really excited for that. Coming to you next week. Now, let me check over here. And boom, we're good. Instagram, if you can't hear me for whatever reason, for some reason it looks like it's muted, just let me know in the comments if you cannot hear me. I mean, I probably saying that off, but welcome, welcome, welcome. I love my IG people as well. That's where we started from. So I love you guys so, so, so much. But now we are going into our guest. I'm super excited to bring this gentleman up. He has literally spoken life into me in one of the hardest times where I just didn't believe in myself, right? Before I was personally developed, before I was grown, before all of this that you see now, right? He believed in me, and before I even believed in myself. And we met through our old company, and it was just a click from there. I've seen him grow, right? Started from the bottom, now we're here. I'm super excited that he is going to share his story with us today. He is a renowned barber, a speaker, an educator, CEO of I Grind Different, Mr. Nathan Galan. Hello.
How you doing, girl? How you doing? How you doing? How you been?
I've been great. How are you doing?
I'm highly blessed and favored. I cannot complain. God's been good to me, girl.
Amen. Amen. I love to say your title. I'm going to say it again. Renowned barber, educator, speaker, and founder of the movement, right? I Grind Different. It's a mentality. Like, I love that so much. I know you guys have seen me sport the hats, sport the shirts, because it is a mentality. And I'm super proud of you. So before we get into all of this, Nathan, tell us, who are you, Nate? Like, where did you grow up? Do you have brothers and sisters? I know you have some special women in your life. Bring us to that part.
Well, first and foremost, I want to say thank you so much for having me on here. I want to just commend you on your growth, on your endeavors, what you've been doing, how you've been empowering not only yourself, but other people, empowering other women, man. So I just want to give you your flowers, man, because to know you from when I first met you to see where you've grown to now is nothing short but amazing. And like I told you before, I can't say that I'm shocked, you know what I mean? But it's just so dope to see where you're at. More excited for where God's going to take you, man. So, major kudos to you. Always love to you and Rome, man. I've got a special place in my heart always and forever.
Thank you so
Um,
much. I appreciate it.
no problem, mama. But as far as for me, I mean, life's been great, girl. I mean, God's been good. You know what I mean? First and foremost, I'm a God-fearing man. You know what I mean? All praises due to him. You know what I mean? I'm nothing without him. And so for me, it just goes back there, raised by my grandmother, old school Pentecostal woman, raised by her, one of 5 kids. I was the second oldest. So, we was faced with a lot of odds growing up. But my grandma taught us, A, keep God first, and B, always keep fighting. Fast forward, when we moved down here to Florida, blessed to, earn me a football scholarship, played collegiate sports, got out, got my, started teaching, coaching high school football, and actually became a head coach for high school football by the age of 25. And that's what actually brought me to Tampa. I'm originally from Polk County, Florida, Lakeland, Florida to be exact. But I moved out here back in 2013 for a head coaching job, fulfilling my lifelong dream of wanting to be a coach. People asked me what I wanted to be. It was to be a coach. And I fulfilled that at the age of 25. But 4 games into my season, man, I caught me a DUI, and it cost me my career. It cost me my career literally like overnight. Within 48 hours, I lost my job. Still got back into teaching, but gave coaching a break. Kind of wanted to fix my character and kind of figure out like where God wanted to take me. And at first I chased the money. I got some sales jobs, but it wasn't fulfilling. I'm big on fulfillment. And it just led me into barbering. And now here we are, 7 years into my barbering career. I couldn't even imagine what God has done for me in this profession to be, where I'm at now with the people that I'm around, blessed to, now take my teaching background, and instead of doing it in the classroom, I'm able to do it as a platform artist for one of the major brands in the industry. And again, it's not about me. It's about what God did through me. He turned my test into my testimony. He turned my mess into my message. And so now I'm extremely passionate about this, passing that on forward.
Wow, that's beautiful. I want to go back here for a second because you said your grandmother raised you and you're one of 5. And I want to say how much I love y'all's relationship. So your grandma is like everything to you, isn't she?
Oh my God. Literally, we just went over there yesterday to go see her. Me and my wife did. And it's yeah, man, she the reason, man. Like, to think my grandma raised 5 of her own kids. She had 4 and 1 girl. That girl just so happened to be my mother. My mother went through some tough times when I was a kid. You know what I mean? She had to find herself. The street lifestyle, she missed out on like 10 years of my childhood. So I didn't see my mom from the age of 10 to the age of 22. And but I'm blessed to say now, 16 years later, my mom's been with us for the last 16 years, completely clean, through the grace of God, been delivered. So, when God does do things, I mean, that, we as men don't even fathom. And so, yeah, my grandma, man, she's the reason, man, because I saw how hard she had to fight. I knew what she had to overcome. And so, like, how can I succumb to any of my excuses, knowing that this is a woman that not only raised her 5 kids, she took it upon herself to take us in instead of us going to the government, because we was about to go to a foster home. And she couldn't live with herself if she didn't take us in. So she did.
Right. I love that. And I'm sure she's so proud. I love when you post. I know you take her to get her hair done and, and things like that. And I love that so much, because a lot of the times, with grandparents and things like that, they kind of just get left behind. They get older and things change, and you always go back, right? Like, you always go back to her. You always go back to your family. So I love to see that part of you. So you grew up, so you came here, you became a teacher, which is not surprising, especially with what you're doing now, which we'll talk about shortly. But you've always had this, educator background, right? This teaching passion to help people. Where did that come from?
I had influencers along my childhood that, for me, it was God. God strategically placed certain people in my life to help my grandma. My grandma was a single parent. Like I said, 5 of us, man. So I had 2 brothers that were very hyperactive. So that required a lot of attention. And anything for us to do, anything extracurricular, we had to have somebody that stepped up to kind of fill that role. And for me, it was teachers. You know what I mean? I mean, we could take this thing back to middle school. Beth Cummings, she was my choir teacher. She used to take me to and from choir rehearsal just so I could participate in extracurriculars when it came to that. To Robin Seacrest, one of my high school days, early on, she used to take me to and from football practices, to and from different extracurricular activities. And they didn't have to do that, but God put that on their heart to do for me. I mean, Rhonda Borders, nobody in my family ever went to college, so I didn't know the process of how to fill out college paperwork or the financial aid. But Rhonda Borders, who was the assistant principal at my school at that time, she took it on as if I was one of her own kids. And to this day, I still have a friendship with all of them. I literally just went and talked. Miss Seacrest, Robin Seacrest, she was teaching since 1985. And I just spoke at her last class 2 weeks ago. And that's when she let me know she was finally retiring. You know what I mean? So like, just to think, I sat in this lady's office when I was 14 years old. I'm 36 years old now. You know what I mean? And so those type of relationships is what cultivated me wanting to be a teacher, because I want to have that same impact on someone like me. You know what I mean? I know there was kids out there that come from, single parent homes or grandparents raising them. And so for me, I felt as though the closest way I can make that type of impact was being in a position to be of an impact. And I felt that was the classroom and through sports.
That's so good. Isn't it crazy how we remember those special teachers, right? I didn't really do well in school. I was barely there half the time, but I remember Miss Williams always pushing me. I remember Miss Border, pushing me. She was strict. Like, we would always make fun of her, but because she was so strict. But you remember these special people, right? That just made small impacts in your life and you don't realize it even until later. And the fact that you got to go back, that's incredible. I'm sure she was so happy to see that you were able to come back and do that, and she's retiring. So I love that. That's so much. So you got into teaching, like you said, you were, a coach, you were a football coach, you were all good. You lost your job. I know that story's already out there. You could touch on it a little bit, but not that I don't want to focus on those parts, but there's just so much more since that's happened. But you could tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, I mean, it's very simple. I was 25 years old. I made a poor decision. I mean, I hadn't made the decision that I want to be a teacher, but I made a wrong choice. Along the way, I just, I drunk and drugged. And then I felt like I could just sleep it off. And, I had to pay for my consequences at the end of the day. I shouldn't have been driving. But it was one of those things that it low-key was the best thing that ever happened to me. And people look at me mad crazy when I say that. And it's like, I needed that humble pie. I wasn't smelling myself. I wasn't flamboyant. I wasn't out here thinking I was balling out my tail. But it was one of those situations where I needed to fall on my back so I could still look up and pick myself up. And I needed to get that humbling experience. So now when God blessed me later on in life, like he has, I would appreciate it that much more. You know what I mean? So that, one of my mentors, Darren, he's always telling me, God could do for you in more in 1 hour than you could do for yourself in 1 year. And I'm literally a living testimony to that. But I had to go through that first in order for me to appreciate what I have now.
Amen. Oh, I agree. And here's the thing though, but there's something different inside of you. And maybe it was the sports, maybe it was the people that were pouring into you, because most of the time when something like that extreme happens to the average person, they fall back, right? They fall back, they give up on everything, their dreams are killed, and they just completely don't move forward. But you didn't do that, right? And you say it ended up being the best thing that happened to you because of where you are now, and you're actually walking in your calling and in your purpose. But that's something, and I want people to understand and realize that, because at the end of the day, take notes, it's okay. Things are going to happen in life, but it's how you respond to them that matters, right? He could have kept drinking. He could have became a drunk and just said, now my life is ruined. That's it. And had all these excuses in the world not to do the right thing, right? But he didn't do that. And that's what matters the most, is how we respond to these crises. Our lives are like problem, crisis. Problem, crisis, right? And it's how we respond to the crisis that matter the most. And so kudos to you for that. And so you grew. Now we met in the craziest way, right? We met in network marketing. Listen, y'all know I'm an advocate for network marketing. We love network marketing. It's completely changed our lives, both of us, I can say. And so we met in the company, didn't we?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, network marketing was my lifelong friends have literally come from network marketing, majority of them now, you know what I mean? And so, regardless of what, what bruises the industry may have, I will forever cherish the friendships, the family ships, and more importantly, the personal development that I've gotten from it and I continue to get from it. And so, look at this friendship. This friendship was cultivated because of being in the same room, you know what I mean? And so I feel as though that's too often overlooked because of some of the bruises that the industry may have. But I'm grateful for it.
Amen. So am I. Thank you. Yes, definitely. I mean, we weren't even on the same team, but it was just about helping each other, helping people. And we just immediately started to grow. And we just had a little group of us here in Tampa who really wanted to change our lives. Right. And we were like, nothing's going to stop us. We're going to keep going. Right. And we're going to get there. We're going to get there. And so, and we are, right. We're still going. One of the things I can remember, Nate, one of our biggest things in the presentation, which I feel like we kind of put this on ourselves, but it was like, if it takes you 10 years to make $1 million, are you going to be mad at me if we get you there, right? We used to always say that. And I feel like where we are, we're almost there. And I'm like, man, we kind of put that on ourselves, the whole 10-year thing. But I'm like, I ain't gonna be mad if it takes 10 years to get there, right?
Fast. I feel as though it's respecting the process. If respecting the process and everybody finding their own lane, and then everybody just respecting that. So like it's so dope. It's so dope to see what's come up all those years of getting that stuff poured into you, and seeing what you could do with it in your own skill set.
Amen. So how do you go from football professor teaching to barber? Like that's a big jump there. Like that's a whole different industry. So how did you do that?
Well, it started when we was younger. My grandma got to a point where she couldn't afford haircuts no more, man. She was a single parent. We was government assistance, Section 8, food stamps. And it just really got to the point where she had 4 boys to get the haircuts, and that became too many. So she told us one of us had to learn. So, one of my uncles who was already doing it when he could figure it out. So I was like, hey, I picked up the clipper. And so I started practicing on my brothers. That's what happens when they're younger. So I used to destroy them, girl. I felt bad.
They had to go to school with a jacked up haircut.
listen, girl. Steve Harvey had me all messed up. I used to think everybody's lineup used to have to be And but needless to say, I started then. And then as far as how did I get into profession, it was always a hustle to me. Like when I went to college, although I was on a full ride, I couldn't call home and ask for money. So, barbering was something I just did on the side. Little $5 lineups, $10 haircuts. And it was a way for me to make some extra money in college. Never in a million years could you have paid me to tell me that I would have been a professional barber. Reason being, until I got to Tampa, I never really encountered a professionally ran barbershop. Now, I've been to good barbershops, but it wasn't ran to the point of me saying, like, you know what, I could see that being my career. But when I got to Tampa, and because of network marketing, because of the company we was in, I met my 10-year plus friend, Chris Bazio, who at that time was 25 years old and already owned 2 barbershops. See, here's the thing about Nate, right? I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I'm in the drawer, right? And so being as though we was from the same, Boricua, I'm like, hold on, man, I've never met a Boricua at 25 years old owning 2 barbershops. And the way he was doing it was so much more different. He was doing like a professional ran modern barbershop. So they're still listening to the Drakes and they're listening to the, the music, but it's edited. They're still talking about the sports. They're still talking about, the things of a barbershop, but they're being respectful about it if a woman's around. So for me, as a customer, I picked up on this. I'm like, man, this is pretty dope. And so you fast forward 4 years later, he and I, did well with the company. We grew that friendship, cultivated that friendship. And I just became more intrigued into the profession because as a school teacher, if you know any school teacher, you got to understand that teachers don't make money. For me, when I got into it, I never did my research on how much teachers made. I just did it because I loved it. I felt a calling for it. But when when I was put in the position to finally look at my salary and see what my time and my dreams outweigh my bank account. So for me, I had to do some reevaluation. Like, well, what's going on?
This number don't match. This number, wait a minute. Right. No, it's true.
At that point in time, I was 4 years into the profession, already had became a head coach, full-time school teacher, and I was only making $37,000 a year. And we're talking about this is back in 2016. And so for me, something had to change. You know what I mean? And so I chased the money. I went into sales, didn't like it. And then I just finally went to him one day. I said, listen, man, all right, let me give this barber thing a chance. Because at this point, from the time I met him to that turning point in my life, I saw him go from 2 barbershops to 6 barbershops, from nobody knowing him to him being a YouTube educator. I'm like, hold on, man.
Right.
All this off of barbering? Like, nah, what's
Yes.
going on? And so I just dove in. I dove in the day I passed my test, the day I started at his barbershop. 2 years, 2 years into it, I became a manager at one of his barbershops. 4 years in, I started running three of his barbershops. And now 7 years in, I'm the district manager for all the barbershops, the headline barbershops here in Florida. And I'm
Let's
blessed.
go.
I just signed an educator contract with our education team, OP45, about 2 weeks ago now.
Well, since you brought that up, bam!
Thank
Congratulations.
you, Mama. Oh, that's dope. I appreciate that. Look at you. Look at
When
you,
I
high
seen this,
tech.
I was like, oh, yeah, I'm bringing this on here tonight. So it says this milestone reflects the hard work and sacrifices that have been integral to my professional journey. I am deeply flattered, humbled, and honored to have officially signed an educator contract with OP45 official education team. Listen. And I want people to understand when he talks about the humbleness and the industry. Like everybody sees Nate now. He's traveling. If you go on his thing, he's going all over the world. Like he's traveling, he's doing this, he's educating, he's speaking, he's doing this. But I remember when he was going to barber school in Ubers because he didn't have a license and he was going broke, getting to school, getting to jobs. His job was so far, like people would have quit, they would have given up. Like the struggle was real to get here. Was it easy?
Hell no, girl. You about to make me tear up, girl.
Mm,
That shit wasn't easy. That wasn't easy at all. Shoot.
it was real, huh?
$31,000 in 3 years on Ubers and Lyfts. I went 3 years without a license. I had an Uber and Lyft for 3 years while building my clientele in a whole different part of Tampa. Um, Woof, damn, you hit a nerve there.
Mm. And
But nah, it wasn't easy.
Mhm.
It wasn't easy, but it's dope to sit and reflect now. You know what I mean? It's so super dope to reflect.
Yes.
But it wasn't easy. You know, I used to have paid $31 one way just to get to work, $31 to go back home. And that was just, I did not want my mistake to define me. You know what I mean? I refused. And so whatever it took, you know what I mean? Coming in early, staying late. You know, I know I worked 6 days a week for like almost 2 years, bro. You know what I mean? It
I
was
remember
it was about
nobody's
that.
seen Nate, right?
No,
You
nah,
rarely seen him. You rarely see Nate. It was putting the work in, right? And
yeah,
so when we see the glory, right? When we see all these happening, we have to understand that he started from here. It didn't just come to him, right? It didn't just say, hey, or here you go, I'm going to hand you this. He's been working at it since he was a kid, right? And it's always been, I forget the name of that word, but it's always been something blocking, like, nope, not this, nope, not that, oh, nope, this way. But he said, no, no. And he kept pushing, $31,000 in 3 years. Bro, most people would not do that, right? And at the end of the day, though, look now,
yeah.
educated, official, contract signed. You know what I mean? Like literally, like helping people get to the next level. And I want to talk about that in your barbering because I really believe that that's why you are so successful, and that's why this is only the beginning, because not only are you teaching people how to be a barber, but it's the mindset that goes behind the entrepreneurship, behind being a man, behind being a grown person. So talk to us about that.
I think, yeah, absolutely. I think it's very important. I think what I've learned to realize, and not only just being in this industry, but being in life, is that often people, you know, we can take this back even to our network marketing days or even to our childhood days. But it's like you got to learn how to adjust. And if had I only known what I know now when we were going through some of the things we even went through, whether in business or personally, I think I would have grown a lot more faster, but everything happens for a reason. So I just really feel like it all correlates. You know what I mean? I feel as though like you got to go through what you got to grow through. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
you just got to pick and choose that. You know what I mean? Some people go through things and some people choose to grow through them. And so I feel as
Mhm.
though it's your highest power is in the growth. You know what I mean? That's why it's called growing pains. You know what I mean? It's not supposed to feel good, but understanding
Mm.
that when you come out on the other end, it's going to be for a reason. So for me, I just feel as though not just in the barber industry, but just period. I just so happen to be a barber, and that's my audience now. But just in general, I want to help people realize like if you attack things with the right mindset, instead of coming at it with a victim mindset, come at it with a victor mindset. It's a slight shift. You know what I mean? It's like looking at it from a different lens. You know what I mean?
Right.
Think about when you go to take a picture sometimes and it's not your camera's not focusing. Sometimes you got to tap the camera right? You got to tap the box in the middle just so it can focus a little bit better, and so you could get the picture that you're desiring. I feel as though it's the same way when it comes to your mindset. I think
It's
sometimes we
good.
got the right vision and we're looking the right way, but sometimes we just need to tap the screen. And to me, it's like sometimes we got to tap our mindset. We got to start listening to the right things. We got to start feeding our
Yes.
spirit the right way. And for me, it just starts within. You know what I mean? To me, your outer world is a direct reflect of your inner world. You know what I mean? And so
Yes.
for
I
me, it's all about
agree.
the foundation. Your foundation is important. And I thank God for every day that my wife came into my life because she she helped me recreate my foundation. Because I was raised in the church, but I strayed away. And I strayed away because I wasn't learning God. You know what I mean? I wasn't learning the word. You know what I mean? I was thinking, oh, I'll go to a service here or I'll watch a YouTube there, and that's my relationship. And like, no, what I mean?
Mhm.
It's a big difference between religion and relationship. And to me, I was
Yes.
thinking I was fulfilling my relationship through religion. In actuality, I never didn't even have a relationship with him. And so, my wife gave me a Bible. The Bible is right here. So the Everyday Life Bible by Joyce Meyer. All right.
That's good.
This Bible right here for me changed everything for me because it just gave me a guide and took away all the complex part of the these, the thous, the dollars, and no offense to it, but it's like more the King James version, and it made it into the language I could understand it. And so for
Mhm.
me, by me relaying my foundation in the right places, to me, therefore, I was able to build more of a solid house on the foundation that I was able to get from the Word of God. So, I'm not here to impress my religion on anybody, but impress upon you. I know where mine is built at. You know what I mean? So,
Yes. Yeah, I say the same thing. Like, I don't need to be a Bible thumper. Like, look at my life, right?
no.
Like, look at my life. And it's so important that we realize that when we have that surrender, when we really start building that relationship, because it's the same thing. Like, I always knew him, like I always loved him. Like, I went to church, I got baptized, all this good stuff, but there wasn't a relationship with him. Now there's everything I do is concerning with him first, right? I even before my kids, I'm like, I love y'all, but I love God more, right? It to the point where my son one time said, I said, I love you, Papa. My 8-year-old, he's like, I love you too, Mom, but I love God more. I'm like, yeah, you do. Like, don't forget it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
we even before our kids, even before our families, like it has to be him first. Like I invite him into everything that we do. So definitely, I love that too. We don't have to be Bible thumpers. Look at our life. If you have questions, let us know. We'll definitely talk to you about it. Um, but no matter what, the things that you're teaching, the mindset, the growth, garbage in, garbage out, that is so important. When you said fall in love with the process, man, that part, because it's the struggle is for real, even through barbering. I'm sure it hasn't been easy.
No, I definitely not. It definitely has. I mean, it wasn't easy. I went to a new part of the city that I never even heard of. Had to build a clientele from scratch, and just having to build that brick by brick. I still have my notebook in there when I first started, where I was only making like $500 a week. Yeah, I mean, working 6 days a week, 9 to 7. You know what I mean? And so a lot of people would have quit them, but the goal was $1,000 a week. Then the
Yeah.
goal was $2,000 a week. And then now it's like, man, God has been so good that now I've been able to take my struggle, my pain, my past, and now duplicate it within other barbers. I just got control of a barbershop last year, February. And within 1 year, we went from 2 barbers to 9 full-time barbers. Five of
That's
those guys
good.
came from out of state, and all of them are making more money than they've ever made in their careers. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And so it's not about the number, but it's about the impact. And for
No.
me, that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. It's about the impact. It's not so much about what you can accomplish. You got to understand you're selfish if you don't live to the calling that God's called you to live, because you're robbing somebody else that needs to see you do it.
Yeah, it's
So
so true.
yeah.
We don't use money. We don't use people to make money. We use money to build people, right? And
There it is.
so, you know what I mean? And that is very crucial because, like you said, you went from your notebook saying this amount, this amount, this amount. Now you had this many barbers, 9 barbers. Now 5 of those are doing this. Like these people are now seeing their notebooks go from small, small, small amount. They're changing their family, their generational pattern. They're earning incomes that they never imagined. And this just starts to grow and grow and grow. And so I have here the I grind different, right? And so I love that he has, this, it's a mentality, right? It's a brand, it is a movement. Okay. Just think that's the best way to explain it. Yes, there's t-shirts. Yes, there's hats. Yes, there's things that you can get associated with the brand. But I think it's just a movement. Now, what did you come up with? I grind different. Like, how did that come about?
Um, I grind different to me. It came about during the pandemic. As barbers, they shut us down. We couldn't cut any hair, and so I just wanted to think of, okay, man, I need a tangible product, and I just wanted to think of like what correlated with my life. You know, what I mean, I already had, I've been an entrepreneur. Between network marketing, between speaking, and now in barbering, I was like, okay, well, I don't have your normal grind. I mean, I don't think and know too many people that have gone through the things I've gone through, whether it was my childhood, whether it was professionally, or whether it was just life itself. And it was like, man, what would define me? And honestly, you just app on my phone. It's like, man, I grind different. I've heard that from so many different people. It's like, man, I didn't have to, bro. You different, man. Like, I can't believe you be doing it like that. I can't believe you're Ubering to work. I can't believe. And so I
Mhm.
grind different. Was birthed from the life I've been having to live. I mean, I feel as though like everything I've done or everything I had to overcome, I have had to implement a different level of grind. And that's why I said the slogan is more than a brand, it's mentality, just to, signify that, just to signify that is like, it's not just me. I'm talking to the single mom, I mean, that don't have any family. I'm talking to, the kid that don't have no mom, don't have no dad, don't have no dad there to, no guidance. What I mean? I'm talking to, the family member that everybody turned their back on. What I mean?
Mhm.
Like, I'm talking to the divorcee. I'm talking to, the lady that lost a kid. What I mean? I'm talking to the guy that's wondering if he's ever going to conceive. Like, that's who I'm talking to. Like, understand that you're different. You know what I mean? And whatever it is that God's calling you or bringing you through, there's going to take some type of different grind to get you through that. And for me, I just want to have people feel proud in wearing that and owning whatever it is that they do, owning the fact that they do it different than anybody else. And not because of anybody else's approval, but because they're doing it here already. What I mean? They're already attacking it here first. Because here, once you attack it here, then everything else out here becomes easier. If you overcome it here, everything else is that much more easy because you've already conquered it, because you've already decided in your mind. And once you decide, a person convinced their own will still have the same opinion still. So
Mm. That's one of my favorite sayings right there. And everything you just said hit on the head. But I love how you said I grind different to like the single moms, like everybody who's going through something, because again, it's how you respond to these situations, right? You have two different single moms. You have the single moms who just are don't understand, they don't have the mindset yet, they don't, right? But then you have those single moms who have three jobs and they're just making it happen however they can, right? And this is no disrespect to whichever one you are. Like at the end of the day, if you want to change, you want help, you want to find out how to be that other, like let us know, like we'll definitely help you, send us a DM. But the point is, this is just the reality of it, right? And so the I and grind different, the mentality is that is what you're doing on a daily to make sure that you can handle these crises or your situations or whatever you have going on in life to make change and make a difference. So that's huge. I do want to go to some of the comments. I do want to apologize to Facebook list. Facebook's going to be so mad at me. For whatever reason, there's an error and it has not let me go live this entire time. I've been clicking that button. I know. And so I feel so bad because I know they were waiting. I'm going to put the recording and everybody watch it. Go on. Just know that when you're watching the recording, my heart goes out. You guys know I'm here every week and everything's normally smooth. I'm not sure what really happened, but I will go to the Instagram comments because they have been coming in. Okay. Let me see. Oh my goodness. It's just crazy. Such a great testimony. Lynette says the testimony is amazing, just phenomenal. Nettie said you have some great mentors. That's wonderful. Amen. I sure have. Thank you. You live in your dream. You succeed. When you fall, you get up twice harder. Yes, so
amen.
true. There's so much comments here. I do want to keep going. Our barbershop is real hood. LOL. Lynette says that. Our barbershop is real hood. And then, of course, you have Jessica on here talking about that's my husband.
Hey.
Yes, girl. She says she's proud of you, Poppy. And she says hi to me. Hey, girl. Thank you so much for watching. There's just so much like, great testimony, young man. You better preach, young man, right? And the devil is a liar. Exactly. And I think that's what's going on here with this Facebook thing. Thank you so much, because it's crazy that it just all of a sudden didn't work, and it always does. But at the end of the day, leaders adjust. And again, I'm going to put the recording. I'm always want to mention it because I do love y'all and I do appreciate you guys showing up every week. And so I will make sure that we do better for next time on that. So Nate, as we come, to a close here, first, I would just like to, before I say thank you, your story is so impactful, and it's only the beginning. And, you're really, I see you going to different cities, and just really showing your talent, and being involved in shows. And I see people who are, actually posting, hey, thank you, or this and that. And I know that we don't do it for these reasons, but you're just truly being a disciple in the marketplace ministry. Right. And people don't understand that it's okay to get paid for your gifts and still create disciples and learn your mindset and grow and do all of these things. And so if you could, talk to that person out there who is unsure, who doesn't know where they want to go. If you had, one of our mentors, I like to talk about, he says it like this: if you had 5 minutes to talk to the one person, and you only had one thing that you would be able to share with them, and you only had 5 minutes and you would never see that person again, what would you say?
I like that, girl. Whoa, I'm still that.
Got that from Darren.
Shout out to D Walk. Shout out to D Walk one time.
Shout out D Walker.
I'm just gonna talk to the people. I'm gonna talk what's on my heart right now. Just for those like, it's your time. I mean, it's enough of the excuses, enough of the sorrow. I get it. I mean, I get it. I didn't have a dad either. I get it. My mom wasn't there. I get it. Government housing, the pride got hit. I get it. Everything getting stripped away from you. I get it. People that you expected to still be there for you and disappearing on you. I get it. Being let down. I get it. But life comes down to decisions and choices, right? You got to decide. Decide what you want out of your life. You are the author of your own book called Life. Stop giving your pen to other people. Grab your pen and decide what you want out of life first. Once you decide, write it down. All right. A goal is just a dream unless it gets written down. A goal becomes real life once you write it down and you can see it. See, once you decide what you want out of life, now you got to make the choices on a daily basis to get you closer and closer to that decision. It's an everyday thing. Win the day. Wake up, win the day. Failing the plan is planning to fail. So once you write that decision down, make a conscious and daily choice that every day you're going to make the choices that get you one step closer, one step closer, one step closer. Because what's bigger? Your excuse or the decision that you make to win in life, because you deserve it. Thank you so much for your time, my dear.
Oh my word. Listen, mi gente, if you didn't write that down now, go back, rewind it, and just write that little piece down. And I want to see y'all come back in 21 days doing exactly what he just said. And I can guarantee you guys there will be growth. And I don't make guarantees in life, but I can guarantee you if you write down exactly what he said and you do it in 21 days, you're going to come back and comment and say, yo, so much has changed, right? Because that is legit. That's it. That's it, right? It's literally right there. Like, so oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Like, and I did forget. I know we just act like we were going to close out, but I did want to mention something because I'm so proud of you. Like you just mentioned you spent $30,000 3 years ago trying to get yourself to work in Uber, right? And now you're a homeowner.
Yeah.
Look at God. Look at
God is great. God is great. Yeah. So we bought a home. Well, actually, it's crazy. My life changed a lot, man. I got engaged in August. I got married in November. I bought a house in March. Yeah, man, God has been great, man. God's favor has been so good. I just, want to be humble about it all, but also understand that God is a faithful God. And I'm telling you, he'll see you through, and he'll bless you accordingly. I don't know what that's going to look like for you. I just know, like, it was a lot of nights that, it wasn't so happy. It was a lot of phone calls made to my boy Alexis Cruz that's on that weren't so happy. But God had a plan. And I thank God for my wife. I thank God for bringing her into my life, because it's been all up since, you know what I mean? So we've been able to build each other. Shout out to her. She's a realtor that's killing it right now. And we're just so grateful for each other because we push each other. You know what I mean? We push each other and we're building something together. And God is faithful, man. I'm telling you, even in the darkest times, you got to understand. Stop asking God why and just pray for understanding. And the understanding is not going to come overnight, but God asks us to pray specific prayers. So if you want specific answers, start praying specifically. And so for me, once I started doing that and being intentional with it, to get God be
Game
the
changer.
glory.
I love it. And definitely shout out to Jessica. You're next, girl. So be ready. She's definitely doing her thing, and I gotta have her on the show as well. So how can people find? I know I have it here, but just so you know, this is correct, right? This is how they find you.
Yep, IG Nate Motivates. You can follow the brand at I Grind Different 247. Again, that's at I Grind Different 247 on Instagram. If you guys are interested in the merch, self plug. I Grind Different.
Yeah.
We got the white, we got the black.
Listen, I know we don't do that, but hold on. I know we don't come up.
I know.
You know I do it too.
One of my first supporters ever. One of my
I
first
should have
supporters.
put it on. You know I got my right there.
Hey.
I'm still waiting on my crop top though, because I've seen Jessica have when I'm like, how did she get that?
Listen,
like, I want one of
on my
those.
neck. Women's line coming soon, but you can get your apparel at iGrindDifferent.com, iGrindDifferent.com. But yes, we are working on another line. I just recently partnered with another manufacturer. It was on the back burner for a little bit, man. To be honest with you, I put it on the back burner because I wanted to focus on my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that was steps to my
God's
foundation.
plan. It's gonna fold out. It's all gonna
Now
grow.
here we are, baby. Go get your shirt.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Nate. Again, it's a pleasure. This is only the beginning. He said, hold on. Alexis said, can we take a screenshot? I don't know what he means by that. Alexis, what do you mean by that? And Lynette says, wife is gorgeous and supportive. Alexis says that pizza was good. So you must know what he's talking about when he says that pizza was good. That's those many phone calls that you guys have over pizza. So thank you so much again. I appreciate your story. It's an incredible one. God is so good. Thank you for sharing with the audience. You guys take notes, take comments, make sure that you look for him. Make sure that you send him love on his pages and everything that he is doing, and just continue to grow in your own word, in your own way, whatever that looks like to you. If you ever need anything, definitely reach out to him. He is one of the mentors that I am so grateful that was a part of my life. And I'm sure that he will be the same for you if you just send him a DM, if you have questions or you need anything. Okay. So thank you again, Nate, for being on. Mi gente, that is this week's episode of the Speak Easy with Idylli show. I will see you guys next Tuesday at 8 p.m. EST. Thank you. Okay, Sean.